Hello everyone, it's Brian here. It is time for me to take on the 80s Vinyl Tag 2026. This was started by Graham. His channel is Kraken Vinyl. He created this tag to mark 10 years of making videos in the vinyl community. And weirdly, when this video of his popped up about 3 weeks ago, it's the first time I'd ever seen his channel. So YouTube obviously fails from time to time in suggesting channels for people to watch. So there are 20 questions here. I have subscribed to Graham's channel. I'll put a link below so you can as well. There are 20 questions. I did this once already, but it was way too long, so I'm not going to show you labels of every single item like I did last time. That was just ridiculous. So question number 1, which 80s song had the best video? Well, arguably, the best video of the 80s is the uncensored version of Duran Duran's Girls on Film. But let's keep this a little classier. I'm going to choose a different video then, and I'm going to choose Peter Gabriel's Shock the Monkey. Why not? I mean, I guess after school I'd run home to watch video shows, and you'd often get a lot of songs and videos that didn't really appeal to me. Like, how many times can you see Betty Davis Eyes or Total Eclipse of the Heart? Whenever I saw this, I don't know when it was, I was kind of captivated because it seemed to be a little bit different. I mean, it was over 40 years ago, so, you know, we've had a lot of videos since then, but I think it was really inventive for the time. It shows Peter Gabriel as kind of two personas, one as the businessman in a suit, the other is this kind of mystical shaman type character with white face paint, and there's a lot going on in this video. There's monkeys, obviously, there's black and white sequences, there's hospital, hallways, there's what looks to be chaos. I think it's really fantastic. The B-side here, by the way, is Soft Dog, as you'll see right there. So yeah, pretty great video. I like the song too, so that'll do for that one. Number 2, show an album released in 1983. So many to choose from, so I just grabbed this Waterboys record, their debut record, just called The Waterboys from '83. This was not the first Waterboys record I ever heard. That would have been This Is the Sea, because in residence in university, my next door neighbor played that record a lot, and I really liked it. So this has A Girl Called Johnny, which is a great track from this album. So The Waterboys from 1983, show a 12-inch record. If you've watched any of my videos, I'm sure you'll have discovered that I do love 12-inch singles for many reasons. And I've shown a lot of them before. I grabbed this one. I think I might have shown this once before, but I can't honestly remember. It's a new wave band out of Liverpool called the Lotus Eaters. And this is It Hurts with the subtitle, There Must Be a Taste of Murder in It. So it has the lengthier version, 6 minutes, the single version, and then a track called The Evidence. And you may see the Lotus Eaters written on the back. Pretty cool band. That was not their most famous song, or maybe not even their best song, but it's a pretty good one. Very melancholy, seems a bit sad. A one-hit wonder. I chose the very first record I could think of, the very first song I could think of. It's in this awful generic company sleeve. It's from Nena, or Nina, N-E-N-A, out of Germany. This 12-inch single has 99 red balloons, the English version on one side, and 99 Luftballons, the German version on the other side, exactly the same length. Both titles contain a spelling mistake. There's a missing O in each case where it's balloons, which is very strange. This is kind of like an anti-war pop song, and I believe Nina is the name of the band and the singer, interestingly enough. Anyway, this video got played a lot too, so that could have worked for the other question, except I think Shock the Monkey is a better video. Okay, show a record by your favorite 80s artist. I forgot to take this out. Sorry. My favorite 80s artist. Look, I'm going to show you something that's unofficial and on colored vinyl. This is an easy question for me because my favorite 80s artist, and maybe my favorite artist, well, favorite band perhaps of all time, is The Smiths. So this is Lonely Planet Boys, and of course if you're a Smiths fan or a Morrissey fan, you're going to know where Lonely Planet Boy comes from. This is an unofficial bootleg from Amsterdam. It's an FM broadcast, as you can see there, from April 1984 with a pretty nice track listing. I will show you this record because it is on colored vinyl. It's green with a bit of black woven into it somehow. So that is pretty cool. All right. An 80s dance floor banger. The first thing that occurred to me was a track from The Violent Femmes, and I'm thinking of the track Add It Up. If you were not already on the dance floor and the DJ played that song, everyone would have sprinted for the dance floor. It was very popular. This is their debut record from 1983, Canadian pressing. And this album itself is just fantastic. A lot of really classic songs in here, like Blister in the Sun, Add It Up, of course, Prove My Love, Gone Daddy Gone, etc. I think it's a classic album from start to finish. I was in a record store in Toronto the other day, and I saw one of these on a wall of a shop for $80. And I think I probably paid, $7 or $8 for this. So that was a surprise. Right. Which album cover is the most 80s? There are quite a few to choose from, but as I was browsing the collection, I thought I would pick this one. Someone recently talked about this band, but I mean, the Thompson Twins, Into the Gap. Everyone looks a bit 80s, but I think this hat here really sells the 80s for me. I mean, everything does really, all the hair really works in the 80s, but that hat really kind of puts it over the top. And of course, when I pick the Thompson Twins, I can't help but thinking of a channel that isn't making videos really for quite a while now. It's Mike at T-Cat's Deep Vinyl Tracks. He refers to this band as the Thompson Twerps. So, Mike, I'm dedicating this to you and hoping that maybe you'll make a video in the future. The funny thing is, the back is really strange too. Not that it screams 80s, but these are their heads, and it's like a contour map. It seems to show elevation. It's a very strange concept. So it seems to be a contour map. I'm not sure if it is or not, but it's kind of cool. I will show you the inner sleeve here because it's kind of cool images of the planets. On this particular label, which I will mention, probably a bit dusty, they used that same sort of hair images on the label, which is quite funny. So there we go. Thompson Twins for a very 80s cover. Number 8, show a record by your favorite act at Live Aid. I don't know if I had a favorite act at Live Aid. I sat through as much of it as I could, and of course there were 2 performances, one in the UK, one in Philadelphia. And I think most people talk about the UK one primarily, but I thought I would pick a band I like. I'm not my favorite for sure, but a band I like from the Philadelphia show, and that is Run DMC. I don't think many people might not even remember that they were there, but they in fact played the July 13th show at John F. Kennedy Stadium in Philadelphia. This particular record, King of Rock, came out earlier that year, I think in January. So 7 months later, they're on the stage for Live Aid. So that's cool. Show a band with big hair. And of course, I think many people would be thinking of hair metal here, but I chose a new wave synth pop band called A Flock of Seagulls. And you're not going to get the sense of big hair there, but if you flip it over, here we go. And especially that image of Mike's score. I mean, look at that hair. That is fantastic. This is pretty cool. This is cool. This guy, I think, probably felt a little bit shortchanged when they did this photography session. I guess at the time I probably thought this hair was absolutely ridiculous, but I can tell you I would love to be able to do that with my hair now. I should have done it then. I waited, and it's too late now. And the inner sleeve also has this image, and then a beautiful, great image right there. Again, this guy probably felt left out, but what can you do? You can't have everything. A favorite cover song? I think there's a lot of us who have heard songs that we assume were written by the artist we're hearing it from for the first time and not realizing it is a cover version. So I've chosen a song that's just like that. Bow Wow Wow's I Want Candy. I assumed they wrote it when this came out, but they did not. It was a song written by the Strangeloves way back in 1965, and I didn't know that for decades. A long, long time. I have subsequently listened to the Strangeloves version. I think it's really good. The Bow Wow Wow version I probably like better because I heard it first. That's, by the way, Annabella Lewin on the cover. See her on the back there. There's more images of her and the band here. I really love their approach to percussion in Bow Wow Wow. I thought it was really interesting. So that's my choice for a favorite cover song. Number 11 is A Forgotten Gem. And I'm going to show you a record that I did a whole video on some time ago because I think this is a classic record that didn't really get a lot of attention. That is from Think Man. This is called The Formula from 1987. I don't know what it is about this record. My friend Pete, who I've mentioned before, lent me either a cassette copy of, I think it was a cassette copy of this album. And I just listened to it continuously because I thought it was really great. This is a kind of a fake band. So on the back, you'll see 4 members. The only guy that's really in the band is this guy, Rupert Hine, who had a solo career, was in a band called Quantum Jump, and is known to be a producer of many bands like The Fix, etc. And he created this fake band. I'm not sure why he did it. I can't remember, but he hired these actors to fake play their instruments. They made videos, etc. But he was the force behind it. He wrote all the music, did all the instruments, sang the songs. This is terrific. Just such a solid record. I think it's really good. They did 3 records. This is obviously the best of the 3. They had guest vocals by Del Bella, who I mentioned in my 200 Canadian songs of all time. My favorite Canadian 200 songs of all time. So yeah, really interesting record. Totally missed everyone. I think it's really fantastic. Number 12, which 2 artists do you wish had collaborated? Well, I'm going to mention 2 artists that did in fact collaborate. If you know Peter Gabriel's 3rd album, Melt, there's a track on there called Games Without Frontiers, and the background vocals are done by Kate Bush. And of course, they famously did a duet called Don't Give Up on Peter Gabriel's record. But I think they should have done a whole album together. So Kate Bush and Peter Gabriel together, I think would have just been phenomenal. Now, obviously, they're both very accomplished. They have a really strong vision of their music. So it would have been an interesting process to have them in a studio together, but I think the 2 of them together would have been quite interesting. That song Don't Give Up was kind of a taste of what maybe we could have expected, but I think it would have been a really fantastic idea to have those 2 together for a full album. That would be my pick. Let's see. Time Machine, number 13. Which act do you wish you could go back and see live? Obviously, that is the Smiths. I won't show you another Smiths record, but the Smiths. Never saw them because, of course, I have said many times I grew up in a kind of a small town. We didn't really have any concerts, and I had no way to get to a place that had concerts at the time the Smiths were around. And, it just would have been fantastic. I watched lots of live footage and whatnot, but I would have loved to have seen them, and it never happened. Number 14, a synth pop record. Let's go with Howard Jones. This is Crossed That Line from 1989. I think most people would know more earlier Howard Jones songs than maybe this one, but this is a pretty solid record. There he is on the back. Yeah, there's so many synth pop records I could have chosen because my collection is kind of full of synth pop records, but I think he actually wrote some really solid synth pop or pop songs. I think they're very good. A song from a movie. I'm going to show you a whole soundtrack that I've never mentioned before from a John Hughes film called She's Having a Baby. When did this come out? I think it was 88. There you can see a very young Kevin Bacon and Elizabeth McGovern on the back. I don't think this is the best John Hughes film by any stretch of the imagination, but the soundtrack, I think for the most part, is pretty good. And a song I love on here, and I also have this, the album, of course, is Haunted When the Minutes Drag by Love and Rockets. I think is a fantastic song. I could have brought out that record, but I thought I would just pull out this soundtrack because it's full of great tracks. There's XTC on here, Brian Ferry, Gene Loves Jezebel, Dave Wakeling, Kirsty MacColl doing a Smiths track, etc. Kate Bush is on there. It's a pretty cool soundtrack. Your Hairbrush Song. Now, when Graham mentioned this, I had no idea what he meant, and then he described it as being a song that you can't stop yourself from singing. So I guess the idea is that you grab your hairbrush and sing into it like it's a microphone. I don't know if I've ever owned a brush, to be honest, and now I have little use for one, but the song that immediately occurred to me is a track from Shriekback off the Oil and Gold record called Nemesis. That is a fantastic track, and I thought I would choose that one because I think it's true. It's one of those songs you just can't help yourself. There's a kind of a creepy cover on the back, the creepy image on the back. You just can't help singing along to that song. It's so good, so good. All right, an urban record, hip-hop, soul, house, or dance. Now, Graham showed the Mini Madness 7-inch from these guys. I'm going to show you the full-length album from Eric B. and Rakim, or Rakim. I keep hearing both. I'm not sure what is right. This is Paid in Full. I love that album cover. So everything about this is really cool. Money, jewelry, the background. Really cool guys. I really loved what they did. This is on the 4th and Broadway label. So yeah, pretty cool. Terrible, boring white plain inner sleeve though. This is an original US pressing. So yeah, that is they did great stuff, I have to say. Number 18, who would you like to make a comeback? Right, and the Smiths did occur to me, but I think it's a little unfair now that one of the members is no longer with us. So that would be fantastic, but I also don't think it's going to happen because of the discord between Johnny Marr and Morrissey. That would be cool. But I think a band that should come back, and I guess people thought they were because they kind of got together on stage recently for some events. I think Talking Heads, they started in the late 70s, but really were an 80s band. I think they would do a very good job at a reunion tour, and I think people would go. There we have Talking Heads. This is Remain in Light. Very cool. I think that would work. An album you would jam in a Walkman. I had a portable cassette player, but it was not a Walkman. I had a cheap imitation, which clearly wasn't as good. But an album I listened to constantly in there was Bauhaus's 1979 to 1983. So here is a cassette, and you will see Volume 1 of Bauhaus 1979 to 1983 with the track listing listed there. So that is this part of the album. This is a double album that has Volume 2 as well for the same period. Really excellent compilation covering all of their early stuff up to 83. Well, that's almost everything, really, but yeah, fantastic. And I played that a lot. Also in the car, I took that quite often when I had a cassette player. So terrific compilation. And finally, the last question is your 80s crush. There are a few people I could have chosen, but I went with one where I think the album cover is really remarkable. I've always loved this album cover from Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I think this would just look good framed on your wall. I think it's a brilliant cover. No text, just her jumping in the air with her guitar, looking really nice. So Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Yeah, she was kind of cool. I really liked her. There's the back of this. Lots of photography on here. But I've just always loved this. This is such a brilliant cover. Fantastic. It's called Album, by the way. I didn't actually tell you that. From 1983. All right. Thanks very much. I guess that's everything for today. I'll see you in the next video.